Ciao everyone, welcome to Beatspot. I'm Marco and in this video I want to talk about mixing into a limiter. So mixing into a limiter means having a limiter loaded on the master channel or whatever group or bus that includes all the sounds in your track. So mixing into a limiter can be harmful and quite deceiving, and that's true. However, it can also help you making better decisions while mixing. So the reason why you should mix into a limiter is by having a preview of how your master will sound like. So the mastering stage has several processing such as compression, EQ, stereo imaging, and then limiting, saturation, and so on. But all those processing need to have very marginal. The most invasive one usually is limiting. So it's quite safe to say that if you are just limiting your master, you can have a fair idea of how your master will sound like. So mixing into a limiter can help you with setting levels. For example, if you have a sound that's too loud, it will take over the whole mix and clamp down whatever is playing below it. Let's see an example. So I have this track with these two limiters. So now let's turn on the maximizer. Now let's take for example the vocal. I have this automation line and let's make this boost. So let's keep it at 0. So of course I've exaggerated the whole thing just to show you how the limiter works, but that can really help you with setting levels. So if you have the vocal too loud, it just clamps down the whole instrumental, and that's a thing that alters the final result once you're mastering. You may not notice it while mixing without a limiter, but once you have to hit the threshold of the maximizer or the limiter, this problem will come out. The second reason why you should mix into a limiter is very similar to the first one, and that's that it helps you understanding how the squash will affect the dynamics and the punch of your mix. So you can just preview how much your kick, your snare, and whatever other hard hitting element will sound once it's squashed. Because at first limiting can actually improve the knock of the drums, but if you overdo it, then you just lose the transients and it kills the punchiness of the whole mix. So you have to be prepared for this. The thing you can do in this case is just by setting 1 or 2 maximizers, so you have the average volume. You can use LUFS, for example. If you have a reference track which is at -8 dB LUFS, you can just take your maximizer or limiter and turn up your track to -8 dB LUFS and see how the dynamics, how the tonal balance, whatever matches with the reference track. And if you're matching with a reference track, you can just make some tweaks while listening to the mix compressed by the maximizer and see how the whole tweak affect the sound that it's being affected by the limiter or maximizer. So my suggestion is to keep this maximizer in the master channel and enable it only whenever you have to match with the reference track, and keep it turned off for the rest of your mixing session. So this is it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any question, feel free to ask in the comment section below, and see you in the next one.